Hi. So I had this thought, and I thought I'll share it with you and see what you think and if we can actually take it somewhere. Now, I'm not the best with metaphors and all, but for me, it kind of worked, and I want to see what you think. So what I want to say is we as humans, we're kind of like snakes, not in a bad way, but like mainly what I want to focus is on snake shedding its skin, and the whole skin for the snake as a metaphor would be basically working as our personality, as who we are as a person, our issues, our emotions, and how we are. That's just a beingness, right? And so when a snake is shedding its skin, it's trying to renew itself, it's trying to get rid of the old stuff and become something new, like move better, feel better, and all this stuff. And we as humans, we get this skin, and it's getting hard and old because we live with like, oh, something happens in life, and from then on, like we make decision, oh well, from now on I'm gonna be like this, and then life happens, and we start living in, like, oh well, I'm not funny, I don't know how to talk. For example, for me, I know that I talk fast, I mispronounce things, and people have a hard time listening to me. Like, so those would be like some of them my little things or little issues, right? And so like we live with our own beliefs about who we are and how we are. We might be like, oh well, like I'm homeless, it's hard for me to make money, and it's like hard to get like some friends. I'm really lonely. I can't connect with people. I'm always being ignored. And it's just like constantly living with our own beliefs, with how we are, how life is, and all this stuff. And every time we're trying to fix ourselves, we're finding like spiritual techniques, we're doing sessions, we're buying things, we're reading books and everything else, and we're constantly trying to learn and get better and slowly try to change. But the thing is, we try to fix ourselves, and it's like literally, it's like putting a tape over the skin, like it's shedding and the skin is tearing apart, and we're like, oh, that's not good, and we're trying to put a tape over it. Well, eventually, we're taping ourselves to the point where the old skin is taped so much it's sort of trapped in it, and like, I can't get out of this right now. And you're trapped in that state where you're trapped within being the certain way you are right now. Maybe like, hey, you might not have the confidence, you might not have your sense of humor, you might be all alone, constantly ignored, constantly like sort of like fighting for your survival, but you're stuck within the being state that you have right now. And you might hate life, you might be depressed, you might be sad, and you haven't seen changes for a while now. But it's constantly we're sort of taping ourselves with, I know this is who I am, and we're trying to stick with it. Well, this whole new thing with shedding our skin is, instead of trying to fix ourselves, it's like let go of the old stuff and be something new right away. So instead of like, let's say, waking up in the morning and like, oh well, today I'm gonna working on like talking slower and articulate more and try to like pronounce things better and all this stuff. Instead of working on those things, I'm gonna wake up and, instead of like, oh, I have to fix my issues of talking really fast and other things, I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm a person like someone I admire. For example, like having a mentor or having someone you look up to, someone who has already achieved something that you want to do or be. For me, and look at, for example, Mel Robbins. She's a woman. I can like, hey, someone like me. So I already got a good picture. She's a presenter. She's like a public speaker. She like is just an amazing person, and I can sort of take her as my example. Like, oh, that's someone I sort of want to be like, or someone who has already achieved something I want to do, and to be able to talk with people, to talk in a way where you capture someone's attention and you articulate things and all this stuff. So for me, I would say like Mel Robbins for me would work, but you find whatever works for you, right? And if you want to do it, but simply instead of waking up and trying to fix yourself, trying to like, well, I have to practice being more confident, or I have to make a call, or I have to do this. And instead of trying to fix yourself, literally give yourself a few minutes, at least start from that, or a few seconds, if even, to be someone new. Instead of trying to fix yourself with the little issues you have, break free and act as if you're already there. Act as if you already have achieved those results and you have what you want, and that being state, those emotions, those feelings, the way you act, the way you live. So, for example, instead of like, oh, well, I'm like really lonely and I have a hard time talking to people, and I don't know how to beat my social anxiety. And you're all sort of like, damn, people hard to handle and stuff like that. So instead of like trying to fix yourself and like try to like practice little things about talking and stuff, simply pick up your phone and call your grandma, call your relative, call someone you haven't talked to in a while, maybe a friend from school, and just have a conversation like, hey, what's up? And literally, even for a few seconds or minutes, act like someone new. And all of a sudden, you will notice, like, hey, it took you a few seconds to do something you thought you couldn't, but you just made a connection. You're no more lonely because you're having a conversation, so at least for a short period of time. And instead of fixing ourselves and taping ourselves within that one body, at least for a little while, we allow ourselves to be someone new. And that sort of works with what Neville Goddard is saying, or let's say Joe Dispenza. And instead of like trying to fix ourselves and like change ourselves a little bit, we start living in a state that we haven't achieved yet, or we haven't been before, or we don't know about. And maybe you were there when you were a kid. Maybe you were popular. Maybe you had lots of friends. Maybe you had an easy time talking to others and no one was ignoring you, or you were basically all confident and funny and everything else. And instead of like, oh, okay, well, life happened and now I'm like this for a few minutes, try to live as if you had that state. Like, what would it be like if you were confident, if you were funny, if you had your sense of humor back, if you had lots of connections and people wanting to talk to you, people wanting to listen to you, and all those things. And all of a sudden, you start living in that state where you want to be. And simply, instead of trying to fix yourselves or like tape the old skin, you get out of it completely and you become a new being. So for me, like I've been practicing it a little bit and I'm noticing the difference. I'm noticing that I can let go of like my beliefs that like, oh, for me, it's kind of hard to talk. Or maybe I'm talking too fast and mispronounce things, or I can't get your attention on camera and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, I assume the new beingness. I assume the new personality where I kind of can talk slowly and articulate things a little bit better. So for me, like, like I can practice here and there, but just instead of trying to fix it, I become new. The way I believe that state would feel like. What would it be like to be confident, to be connected to others, to be opposite of being ignored? Maybe like actually tons of people trying to call you and talk to you. Like, damn, my phone can't stop buzzing. I have to turn it off. Whoa. And also like at least for a few seconds trying to live in that state. And like that's my little metaphor. Like I'm not sure if that's working, but literally like shedding the skin and sort of at least for a little while trying to be someone new and to live in that state is like literally assuming the new beingness, and now you're free. So I want to see what you think about it. And if you want to try it out, see how this works for you. It's like, it's probably not that easy to do. Like it's simple. It sounds pretty simple, but at least for a few seconds every single day, try acting as if the things you want to achieve in life or have or be, you already have right now. And simply like, okay, well, is it confidence? Is it, like good luck? Is it like being rich? Is it being popular? What is it? And you look at the things that you want to have and act as if you have it. And it's not like law of attraction and like act as if and like, hey, yay, it's all cool. But literally, kind of like quantum jumping, where you assume, like right now, your life changes from this moment. And eventually, we are in control of ourselves in our life. So instead of living in that state where I'm a loser, no one wants to talk to me, I'm always ignored, I'm da 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 da, and we constantly bash ourselves, well, that's what other people thought or like say to us, and we believe what they say. But you break free of that shell and become someone new and start living in that new state of that new beingness, and then you have freedom. So that's my thing. I'm not sure if it makes sense or not, but like we'll see. Like maybe some of you can try it out, see what happens, and let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's something I'm practicing right now, and I see it work. I like it. So that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up for now, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.